Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to a dream come true. The new car. Oh, it's scary. If you want to see this car, you'll have to come to ADAMCFEST.
Sorry, ADAMCFEST has unfortunately been rescheduled to the 6th of July due to the weather. So there's all links down in the video's description for information about that on all of my social channels. I was going to say that was going to be the debut to see this car, but obviously it will be at ADAMCFEST just on the 6th of July. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
But for now, let me tell you how I got to this point. Police just went past.
Let's go back to the very beginning. Since childhood, there has been one car in particular that I've always dreamed of owning. The car that's meant the most to me ever since I was able to talk. The passion stemmed from a combination of my upbringing, the car books, videos and DVDs I received throughout my youth, and at every single car show that I would frequent, I would make a beeline to find one of these cars. And that dream car in particular is the AC Cobra. The Cobra was the perfect combination of gorgeous looks, ferocious sound, raw power and back to basics driving. As soon as I realised that there was a car manufacturer that used my initials, I found an identity with the car and decided that I would one day own one. My innocent self thought that all Cobras were kit cars, so a Cobra kit car was the target to aim for. And at the young age of 22, thanks to a combination of pursuing my passion of filming and photographing cars and working in a car storage facility, I was able to realise that dream. I searched around various Cobra specialists to find the perfect blue and white poster car that would be the base to build my idyllic example of the car I loved.
Oh, today is such an exciting day, so I think we better have a look at my new car.
I finished my search at Hallmark Cars with a beautiful Dax Togero in imperial blue with white stripes and a 5.7 litre V8 up front. The car became an instant flagship and I took it to as many shows and events, rain or shine, as I could.
Water in my eyes.
I've driven to Le Mans, hooned up the Shelsley hill climb, paraded around Silverstone and won multiple awards with the car. But whilst it sat there in my garage sharing its space with my first car, there was always a second scratch that would one day have to be itched.
Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to my Chaser and Sports Cars in the Park. We don't have any data signal, so I can't show any tickets, but we've been directed into the show car section, even though we have spectator tickets. Maybe they love a white Chaser.
That is right, I took the Chaser, the furthest north in the world that I've ever been, to a car show that's always been on my radar, Sports Cars in the Park.
I wasn't planning on displaying the car. I thought we were going to be in public. They just guided us in.
So I parked the car up on the JDM section and started to have a look around at the show and some of the variety that was on display.
This is likely to be the star of the show, a purple carbon McLaren P1. You can see a bit of the weave just there. There's a Ferrari Enzo that's turning up. Godzilla himself is cleaning the wheels of the GTR. You've got the 350Z that draws the eye over to the dimmer 205. So it's a 205 GTI body with 308 GTI running gear. We've got a Liberty Walk vehicle, the BMW i8 wide arch, next to a slammed Ferrari 328 on 19-inch BBSs.
So quite a few favourites already at the show. I was trying to find my absolute favourite of the show and then something around the corner caught my eye.
I've just found a new favourite in the show, and if you know me, you probably can presume what it's going to be in a supercar-y lineup.
One of my childhood dream cars, the Dodge Viper GTS, blue with white stripes, with that 8-litre V10 on show. Oh, this car gets so much attention. It's been a favourite of mine ever since I was a kid, because I think I had maybe that, or it could be probably that model I think I had.
And whilst I was drooling over my dream car, the owner gave me the keys to start it up.
Oh, it's lovely inside. I could get used to this. I've been given the key to start the Viper as well. Where's the barrel? It's not button start, is it? No. V10, 8 litres, that's too many.
All you need to do is rev up to 2,000, you start drawing a crowd.
And it turned out that that Viper was actually for sale. So I enjoyed the rest of my day at the show and had arranged to go see the car in its fullest the day after. As you know, when buying a car, it is essential to do a car vertical check. So that evening, before I went to see the car, I put in the VIN of the Viper to see exactly what kind of history it had before I went to see it.
Okay, it is just as good as you think it's going to be. Right, here we go. There's the mileage. All looks good. Green ticks. That's perfect. That is a perfect car.
So first hurdle done, but here's an example of what I could have found with Car Vertical. This Subaru XV all looks good, the odometer's fine, financial and legal status is good, but damage needs attention. This car has been damaged twice and has been marked as an insurance write-off, and that is why it is essential to do a Car Vertical report when buying a vehicle. They have sponsored this video and given you 20% off using my discount code of ADAMC so that you are not left with a car like this. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow when I go to have a look at this car properly.
So I am extremely nervous going to look at this car that's a lot of money. I've wanted a Viper for a long time, ever since I had that Virago model as a kid. It was a 1:24 scale model, and the Cobra was the dream, the Viper was always a secondary dream, and I always thought they were great investments because they were quite undervalued back when I first started thinking about them. I actually went to look at one for sale that I could have got for about £30,000 several years ago. Took the Cobra there, looked at it, but it was a bit of a project, needed a few things doing to it, and this Viper is mint underneath, and I'd like to say it's the best I can afford, but I can't afford it. We're going to have a look at it properly, kick some tyres, which need replacing by the way. Rear tyres on a Viper, about, probably these days, you need to import them over, maybe about £600-700 each. Anyway, let's get there and see what happens.
I drove the Chaser through the beautiful scenery of Yorkshire. The drive was as picturesque as it was nerve-wracking as I sat there wondering whether this was the right idea to do. Here is the Viper in the garage looking just as gorgeous as it did the day before. I couldn't fault the exterior nor could I the interior of the car, so it was time for a drive.
Years ago, but that was in the London area, so we couldn't really put the foot down. It wasn't the best one. So this is basically my first experience inside one of my dream cars. It was the Cobra, then it was the Viper. Very similar looking cars to an outsider, or at least my mum says they are. It's got a very low and deep roar to that V10. It's not like a high-pitched Lexus LFA. It revs up to like 5.5, 6, maybe top end. It's very American, but also I think Lamborghini may have developed or helped develop this V10. That's the rumour. I'm blabbing because it's just, there's so much going on in my head right now. And it's a good car.
It was a good car, and that made it all the more difficult to make the decision because this would be the best car that I would ever own and the most expensive car I ever owned. But a phone call was made, my offer was taken, and I had to weigh up everything in my head to truly understand what I was doing and the realization of that childhood dream.
And that leads us up to this point. I am still so afraid of putting my foot down. Oh, these were known as Widowmakers, this and the Cobra, so I should be used to it, but this has so much more torque, so much more power than the Cobra. It's only 450 horsepower, but it's old-fashioned American horsepower from an 8-litre V10 up front, no drive rates whatsoever. I've got to get it home. So, I'm going to do that safely and securely, and then show you around the car and tell you some more stuff. But remember, if you want to see this car, be the first to see it. ADAMCFEST is its big debut with all my other cars. I'll see you all there, but for this video, I'm going to nurse the car home and see you in a tickle. I said tickle, didn't I?
So So here it is finally in my hands, and I've already had a little moment in the car. They call it the Widowmaker for good reason. First and third are quite close to each other, and luckily I wasn't on it. I just kind of slowly went from second into first, and then the whole back end stepped out, and I was like, oh my God. It's a 6-speed gearbox, and 6th gear is an absolute cruising gear. So at 60, for example, you're at like about 1500 RPM. At 70, you're looking at about 2000 RPM, but it is just basically idling. So on the way here from Yorkshire, I averaged roughly 24 miles to the gallon. I'm pretty sure they're quoted at about 9, but I guess that's on spirited drive. So this is it, the beautiful car. I just love every product that Carroll Shelby has produced. So obviously the Viper, it's inspired by his Shelby Daytona Coupe, and you can see that in its design. Obviously my Cobra, blue with white stripes, can't wait to show you this in the garage next to the Cobra, but it's just here, this is it, my 8-litre V10 supercar that I never thought I would ever own. Blue with white stripe. You've got that double bubble roof of the GTS. So this is the first year of the Viper GTS, 1996. So this is actually a Gen 2 car. The Gen 1 was the RT10. So this is how you can tell a 96 car, because the stripes go all the way down, whereas later cars, they don't bother painting this bit, and these are painted stripes over the top of blue paint. You've got the wheels, which are chrome, very American, although these ones were once chrome. They are now powder coated in a chrome finish. These are 17-inch wheels. They did make 18-inch wheels, but behind these caps, you've got 6 nuts or studs or whatever. These are basically a truck hub. They say it's a truck engine, but Lamborghini did have a bit of a play in tuning it for this car. 450 brake horsepower in the 8-litre V10. Door handles, they are electric, look. Oh. And inside, the interior is just as immaculate as outside. You've got your 6-speed manual box over there, the handbrake, you've got the gauges there, you've got the MPH and revs. It revs up to about 5.5 to 6 RPM. Indicators and wipers are on the same stalk there. You've got the lights there, you've got the Viper logo down there as well. And unusually, the seat belts are on the inside rather than on the outside. I guess there's more room on the inside because you've got a massive tunnel for the gearbox. And you've got to be careful stepping out because the exhaust runs down the sills. So it comes out of the engine there, runs down the sills, and then out to a central pair of exhausts at the rear. And another funny thing about this car in particular is, well, first of all, you might have noticed the first Viper I went to look at was N2 VPR, and this is N3 VPR. And this exact car I sat in at Petrol Hedonism Live almost 2 years ago and was completely blown away. Little did I know that I would end up with this exact car.
It's still the dream!
Mark actually got in touch with me at the NEC Classic last year saying he was thinking of selling it. He knew I wanted one, and well, here I am. Oh my God. So there you have it, my new car. It's quite loud. Dodge Viper GTS. I'll see you all at ADAMCFEST. I hope you like it, because I certainly do. It's very scary though. I'll soon get used to it and be able to show you a lot more about this car, taking it to all the events that I go to. So make sure you are following me, subscribe, hit that bell when you do so you can be notified for the videos I produce with this car and my others. There's so many updates coming soon. Oh my God, thank you to everyone who is already subscribed and following me in all my other social channels. But for now, thanks for watching.